Welcome back to part 2 of my revisiting of one of the most notorious celebrity feuds of all time, the feud between Joan Rivers and Johnny Carson. In my last video, I began telling you that a list of potential replacements for Johnny Carson on The Tonight Show had leaked to the public. And when Joan found out that she was not even being considered to be Johnny's replacement on The Tonight Show, that's when Joan decided to take her career into her own hands and work out a deal with an up-and-coming network named Fox, where she would make a historic deal becoming the first woman in late-night talk to have her own show. And although Fox was up and coming at the time, they were offering her a deal that she could not refuse. She was being offered $10 million to have her own show, and her husband would be made an executive producer of the talk show, which was just unheard of at the time. Joan, of course, took this deal, and when she did, Johnny Carson was pissed. Now, a layer of this that I think is really important to talk about is that other comedians who had appeared on The Tonight Show had also gotten their own late-night talk shows, and Johnny gave them their blessing to do the shows. Of course, the difference between all of those other people getting their own talk shows and Joan was that Joan was a woman. Joan was also told by other members of The Tonight Show staff not to share certain news or ideas with Johnny Carson because he was an extreme hothead. So while Joan was negotiating her deal with Fox, she decided not to share any of the news with Johnny until the deal was finalized, just in case the deal fell through. But unfortunately for Joan Rivers, she was never able to tell Johnny Carson anything. I guess about a week before she was going to tell Johnny the news leaked, and when she went to go call Johnny to explain herself, he hung up on her before she could. Now, I would like to point out that Johnny said that Joan never tried to contact him, but Joan said that she did try to contact him multiple times, but there was just never a chance where they were able to reconcile. And unfortunately for Joan Rivers' new talk show, it seemed that Johnny Carson was going to be playing extremely dirty. When Late Night with Joan Rivers premiered in 1986, certain networks wouldn't even play her show out of loyalty to Carson, and Carson even made a rule that said that any celebrity that appeared on the Joan Rivers show would get blacklisted from his show. Unfortunately, because of all of this, the show's ratings completely bombed. And when Joan refused to fire her own husband as executive producer, they were both fired months later, leaving Joan with a failed talk show and unable to return to The Tonight Show for 26 years. And just months before Joan Rivers passed away in 2014, Jimmy Fallon lifted her ban and invited her back on The Tonight Show.